write this item. Identify 10 examples of linguistic abstractions that create a realm of possibility. Discover leader and leadership as realms of possibility. Leader and leadership as realms of possibility are realms in which no way of being is excluded. When being a leader, no way of acting is excluded. In the exercise of leadership, leader and leadership as realms of possibility are not menus of ways of being or acting. As realms of possibility, the possible expressions of being a leader and exercising leadership are limitless. Okay, so 10 examples of linguistic abstractions that create a realm of possibility. 10 examples. When you have mastered leader and leadership as realms of possibility, you will know that you have, because when you have leader and leadership as limitless realms of possibility, you will experience a sense of freedom when being a leader and exercising leadership effectively. So you will experience a sense of freedom. 10 examples of linguistic abstractions that create a realm of possibility. Somebody hit me with one. Examples that create a realm of possibility.
Maybe leader is one of these abstractions.
Huh?
Leader is one of these abstractions.
Okay. It's an example of a linguistic abstraction that create a realm of possibility. Somebody else. An example of linguistic abstraction that identify 10 examples that create a realm of possibility.
Maybe motivation.
Motivation.
Yeah.
Okay, an example.
What desire?
Huh?
Desire.
Desire. All right, those are abstract.
Yeah.
Examples create a realm. Anything else? What else?
Maybe success?
Yes, another one.
Confidence?
Confidence? Okay.
Maybe proudness? Being proud of something?
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Freedom.
Okay, do you, what?
Freedom.
Freedom, yes. So, do you get that no way of being is excluded and no way of acting is excluded?
Yeah.
All are possible. Okay, ready to move on then? You just had lunch? How was it? What you discovered, let's see where we are here. All right, so we will begin the work on creating boundaries with leader and leadership as realms of possibility by mastering the 4 foundational factors on which leader and leadership are built. 4 foundational factors: integrity, 4 foundational factors: authenticity. Integrity, authenticity. Those are 2 of the 4 foundational factors. It seems like it's saying this is the 4 foundations, these are just one of each. All right. So I'm surprised that before we create boundaries, that someone didn't say, well, maybe we can do what Hitler did.
Yes.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's possible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hitler did that.
What?
Hitler did that, and that means that everybody can do it. We
Okay.
can do everything what we want.
Everything is possible. Every action is possible. As a realm of possibility.
Yes.
Yes?
He was a leader in his.
What?
He was a leader in his area of
What?
doing.
Yeah? Okay.
It is not good or wrong. It is just what he did. It was his choice. But we need to understand that what we do will influence our life in the future.
Right.
So can we judge him or not now?
We don't have to judge him.
Yeah.
It's just what he did. His decision.
As in a realm of possibility, any way of being is possible in any action. We are now going to create the boundaries. So out of anything and everything way of being, in any action possible, we're now going to come down from anything and everything, all ways of being and all actions. We're going to pull in and create boundaries of leader and leadership so that they create a context that uses you. All right. When you're coming in from dwelling in leader and leadership as an unlimited realm of possibility, you're able, within that realm of possibility, to craft a set of boundaries that creates a context for leader and leadership that uses you. That is, a context for being a leader and exercising leadership that leaves you being a leader and exercising leadership effectively as your natural self-expression. This is achieved by distinguishing, one, within the leadership as a limitless realm of possibility, the first aspect of the contextual framework. Two, the real-time lived experience of being a leader and exercising leadership, leader and leadership as phenomenon, what one sees, hears, or is impacted by when leadership is present. That's the second aspect. Three, in what domain that will occur, leadership as concept, third aspect. And finally, four, by deriving from these a definition of leadership as a term, the fourth aspect. Right, see them up there? All of which such that, when taken as a whole, creates a context for leader and leadership that uses you. That is, a context for being a leader and exercising leadership that leaves you being a leader and exercising leadership effectively as your natural self-expression. Our contextual framework. We have clarified leader and leadership as linguistic abstractions. All right, so we did the first of the four in the contextual framework over there, right? It's going to program your brain to being a leader and exercising leadership effectively as your natural self-expression. So we did the first step, right? Here it is. Leader and leadership as linguistic abstractions create leader and leadership as realms of possibility. Now, as phenomenon, in what sphere do leader and leadership exist? As concepts, in what domain do leader and leadership exist? As terms, how are leader and leadership defined? So, creating the boundaries within the realm of possibility. We will now begin creating boundaries within leader and leadership as a realm of possibility, which boundaries create the context that gives you the being of a leader and the actions of effective leadership, effective exercise of leadership as your natural self-expression. Creating these boundaries begins with mastering for yourself the four factors that constitute the foundation on which being a leader and effective exercise of leadership are built, namely, integrity, authenticity, being committed to something bigger than oneself, and being cause in matter. So it says, creating these boundaries begin with mastering for yourself the four factors. So now we're going to jump back up to here. Mastering the four factors. That constitute the foundation on which being a leader and effective exercise of leadership are built. So we're now going to master those four factors. So we're leaving the contextual framework. Well, inside the contextual framework, we're going to go and master these things. Okay? Integrity, one. So this, I'm trying to find out what slide we're on. We're on slide 440. We've covered 46 slides. Our target is to cover 38. So we've exceeded that by 8. Our target by 8. In the next section, this is a 35 slide section. We can start it, or do you want to talk a little bit about the contextual framework of linguistic abstractions? Anything you want to say about that? Anything you want to clear? How about, yeah, about what, yeah.
Okay, so as we are the leaders, we have some realm of possibilities. So we can do everything and we can act everything.
Yes.
So for what we should do is boundaries between.
So why create boundaries, is you're saying?
For what?
Oh, good question. Well, I'm not going to answer that quite yet. We're going to leave that as a question because some questions often have more power in just the being asked than an answer may be disempowering. What?
I just wanted to answer.
All right, well, take a shot at it
Take a shot.
then. Yeah.
Well, we have to create these boundaries to act like a leader, to act, to use this to create the context of leadership. You can do everything that you want, but it doesn't mean that you will make the decisions, make the choices as the leader choose. You mean that you can do everything, but that means that you can be a Hitler or you can be a Mahatma Gandhi and everything what you want, and that doesn't mean that you are going to be a leader in that way of choosing. So the boundaries will help us to act like a leader. Am I right?
Well, yeah. I mean, makes sense to me. Does it make sense to you? I'm not here with the right answers, okay? I'm in this inquiry just like you are. I'm in this course just like you are.
Yeah, and that makes sense to me.
Huh? That makes sense to you.
We need just to find how to express our type of leadership in our way, because Hitler was good in killing people. He was leader there, and someone else was good in another. But also we need to understand that we can be leaders in different areas, in all areas. Yeah. Like successful people are successful in life, and in all what they have, they are successful there. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
My point actually is similar to them. I think that actually I finally understood that we don't need to search some rules how to be a leader in the internet. We don't need to maybe to look after some famous people, how they acted in some situation. We just need to look at ourselves or like something like that and to open our own view of what is leader.
Yeah.
And then just exercise that point.
Yeah, and depending on what you're dealing with. Because what you're dealing with might not be what Warren Beatty or Steve Jobs is dealing with. What you're dealing with is different.
And then you just have to be open that you can actually create some boundaries and then follow by the boundaries. Something
Yeah.
like this.
Yeah.
Another question: can we change our boundaries during our life, or we just create them and we go this way?
No, we can change, but the boundaries are meant to
You
What?
I can
yes.
Okay, then.
They did? What did you find out?
That during my life, in future, I can change my boundaries, and it doesn't mean that I stop being a leader.
You
Right.
choose your
Yeah,
boundary. This
because-
boundary
yeah.
is your choice, and they help you to
Your
make
type of
your
expression.
choice. Yes, these boundaries just help you to choose.
Yeah, you create these boundaries just for you, not for somebody else, for your parents, for your
Yeah, I see.
others, your
Some-
friends, just for you.
Some people can be leaders in area of dishwashing, and it will be perfect. It will be their type of expression, and it is cool. It is not bad or good.
No,
People was
somebody
leading
needs to
this
do that,
area,
right?
and you can change it. You need to understand that if you don't want to be a leader in this area, you can just go to another. Try another. Yeah. You can just try to be a leader in maths if you want.
Okay. Yeah. So did you catch the part where the freedom part,
Yes.
where you should be freed up, not constrained, free to be the way that you need to be, and free to act the way you need to act, given the constraints. We're going to look, these could be considered to be some constraints that would give you a lot of power. Let's see about it. Anybody, anything else before? So we may begin integrity. I know, it's like, we may begin integrity and not be able to finish it. So we'll just review it and recap it the next time. So we can start the conversation. Are you ready? All right. So these are the four factors that constitute the foundation for leadership. Integrity being whole and complete. Right? See, they highlight them so that you know that we're talking about that one, not the other ones. The law of integrity. The law of integrity states, as integrity, whole and complete, declines, as that means being whole and complete, as integrity declines, workability declines. And as workability declines, value, or more generally, the opportunity for performance declines. Thus, the maximization of whatever performance measure you choose requires integrity. Do you get that sense? Whatever performance measure you choose. Whatever, you know, there's what you're going to lead, and then you have some measure of your success. Whatever that measure is, the maximization of whatever performance that measure is that you choose requires integrity. Violating the law of integrity generates painful consequences just as surely as violating the law of gravity. Put simply, and someone overstated, without integrity, nothing works. Think of this as a heuristic. Anybody know what a heuristic is? No? No philosophy majors? It's like taking, there's this guy in philosophy, Hewlett, and it's after his name. It's sort of like an inviolable law. Take it as a law. It's like a law. If you or your organization operate in life as though this heuristic is true, performance will increase dramatically. And the impact on performance is huge, 100 to 500%. What it is like to be whole and complete as a person. Perhaps the most important aspect of being out of integrity is the loss of yourself. In a very real sense, you are your word. I'm going to go a little bit slower in this section because this is really going to make a huge difference. In whatever is important to you, in your performance, it's going to make 100 to 500% impact and increase in your performance. So, when you honor your word to yourself and others, you are at peace with yourself, and therefore act from a place where you are at peace with others and the world, even those who disagree with or might threaten you. You live without fear for your selfhood. That is who you are as a person. There is no fear of losing the admiration of others. You do not have to be right. You act with humility. And we did some experimentation early in the beginning of this course when you promised, and we talked about honoring your word, right? And when you just honored your word, did you notice that you were at peace with yourself? Especially when you cleaned up, I didn't do it, I did it, this is what I'll do. Did you notice that the course was more at peace and centered with themselves? They're acting from a place where you were at peace with others in the world. Did you notice that? Yeah, okay. So there's no fear of losing the admiration of others. You just clean up your word. I didn't do what I said I did. All right, so everything or anything that someone else might say is okay for consideration. No need to defend or explain yourself or rationalize yourself. You are able to learn. Often mistaken as mere self-confidence rather than the true courage that comes from being whole and complete. That is, being a man or woman of integrity. A critically important element of being a leader. The cost of lack of integrity and the veil of invisibility. Almost all people in organizations fail to see the cost imposed by violations of the law of integrity. The unworkability generated by the lack of integrity occurs to people and organizations as the consequence of something other than violations of the law of integrity. Okay. For most of us, the breakdowns and confusion, that is the mess in our lives, is just the way life is, like water to the fish or air to the birds. Most people rationalize or explain the mess in their organizations and in their lives without getting the out of integrity behavior that is the actual source. This state of affairs is an example of you cannot manage what is undistinguished, therefore it will run you. So undistinguished as such, it will run you. The integrity performance paradox. People and organizations, while committed to performance, systematically sacrifice integrity in the name of increasing performance and thereby reduce performance. How can this occur? If operating with integrity is so productive, why do people systematically sacrifice their integrity and suffer the consequences? And why are they blind to these effects?
Jeff, may I ask you a question, please?
Please.
What is integrity for us?
What is what?
What is integrity?
What is integrity?
Is it a state or
The state of being whole and complete, no parts missing.
just how can it be visible for us? Just how can I know if I'm integrity, if I get the state or don't?
When you're doing what you said.
Just only when I fulfill all my expectations, for example.
Fulfill what?
My
Now, you weren't here at the first part of the course, were you? Where we did a lot of work on promising and requesting. Were you here?
I was present there.
You were.
Yeah, I also practiced promising, but I never just asked myself what is integrity.
Okay.
Well, just.
The state of being whole and complete.
But
How can you know that you're whole and complete?
Yes. Just should I feel this or my actions will show me?
Okay, good question.
It's a question not about
Hold
me,
on.
just about
That's
both.
okay. Hold that question. We're gonna just hold it for a minute and see what Levko has to say.
I just wanted to answer the question, but let's hold it.
All right,
Can
go for it.
I think that integrity means that like when you're in harmony with you and with all the world, because that means that you have not that there is no conflict inside of you. You say what you do and you do what you say, and that's a great thing. That's just who you are.
What happens when you don't do what you say?
The feeling, bad feeling.
Yeah, but then what do?
You build your own life when you
No, when you don't keep your promise, what do you do?
When we don't keep our promise, we just said that we haven't kept our promise.
Yes, and that restores your
Integrity.
So you are now again whole and complete with your word.
We need to face it.
What?
Not to run from it. We need to face it that we haven't done that we promised, and to make new promises and to go
Yes.
further.
Yes. Yeah.
And when you
Is this getting illuminated for you?
Yeah, that's a really good explanation, but I'm still confused with, for example, giving promise and it's actually a clear part, but for example, there are some situations where, for example, we feel very sad or just it's life. It's full of emotions.
Life is full of emotions.
And in my opinion, we can't just fulfill the full integrity in this. I think it's impossible because we are living in a world which is also full of the things happening around us, and they are also interfering in our life, and it's really hard sometimes to just impose yourself on all this happening around you.
These are excellent questions. So can you stay open about that, and we'll inquire into it and see what we see as we go along. Those are very powerful questions. How do you be whole and complete when all around you isn't, and argues for you to not be whole and complete.
Yes.
Yes, yeah. It's like a bicycle tire, right? on a bike. And it goes flat, and then the spokes get bent, and then you have to stop and put the integrity back in so you can keep riding around. But when the integrity of the wheel is out, you aren't going to go very well. It's true. And the environment constantly argues for the integrity to go out. But if you want to go along, like riding the Tour de France, you have to keep fixing the wheel. And you have to keep tuning the spokes, and you have to keep working on the wheel so it keeps working. Yeah? If you want to go. And that's very similar. If you want to increase in performance, there's this integrity thing. And what we will find out is it's a mountain with no top. It's always going to need to be attended to. And there's constant entropy, perhaps, for it to leak out. Okay? What?
Yeah,
Anything?
perfect sense.
Huh?
It's like when you always have to do your homework in time, but there are something things that
Yeah.
makes.
There's,
And you have to do your homework for another time, but you have to do it.
yes. You don't brush your teeth once, and that's it forever,
Yes.
right? You brush them all the time,
We need to
and
continue living.
there's constantly you don't want to.
Yeah.
But if you do, there is an increase in performance relative to, your cavities and all of that. Anything else? Shall we? Okay. We have 13 minutes. All right. All right, so we're going to begin the factors that contribute to the veil of invisibility. In other words, why we sacrifice performance. Why we sacrifice performance. And there's a veil. It's invisible to us, so there's a veil over it, right? And we're going to pull back the curtains and look behind the veil of human being. Kind of like we looked at already, always listening, and we saw what we saw from that. We're now going to, the Wizard of Oz is back there, and we're going to pull the curtains back and see why we sacrifice performance. So, then there's 9 factors why we do that. So 1, integrity is a virtue. Most people in organizations, for most people in organizations, integrity exists as a virtue rather than a necessary condition for performance. As a virtue, integrity is easily sacrificed when it appears a person or organization must do so to succeed. For many people, virtue is valued to the degree that it engenders the admiration of others, and as such, it is easily sacrificed, especially when it would not be noticed or can be rationalized. Sacrificing integrity as a virtue seems no different than sacrificing courteousness or new sinks in the men's bathroom. So let's talk a little bit about this. Can you find an instance, can you map this on your life where you've sacrificed your integrity because it appears that you must do so to succeed? Find an example where you sacrifice integrity when it appears that you must do so to succeed. Can somebody get an example of that? You've given up your being whole and complete. Yeah.
Maybe sometimes like the homework, all of this.
Yes? Okay.
You have to do the homework to succeed,
Yes?
but you have to sleep to succeed. and then you sacrifice your integrity. You don't do your homework to have a sleep, to have clear mind, and then you woke up and you succeed. But you haven't done your homework.
Okay.
Is
So
that
you
this thing or no?
sacrifice where integrity is easily. So in this instance, your integrity is that you said you would do your homework,
Yes, but you haven't done
but you haven't done it.
because you had to go to sleep to
So that's
succeed.
that's the reason that you sacrifice what you said you would do,
Yes.
because you're tired and you go to sleep.
Yes.
Okay.
Is it okay?
And yeah, and so in order to succeed, I don't know, you sacrifice your integrity, your word.
Sometimes, not sometimes, but just this is like that's just a model of this sacrificing integrity.
Just a what?
And just like an explanation or something like that. That I can see that you can sacrifice your integrity, but okay, it's like a model of sacrificing of integrity.
Okay, let's hear what Marco has to say.
Maybe like when you are drowning in a boat
Yes?
and it is drowning and you need to throw out your old things
Yes?
to continue to continue
To live.
yeah it is you it ends your freedom because you need to do something to be free,
Yes.
because if you won't do it you will die.
Yes.
So you need to do that thing you don't want
Yes.
to be free.
All right, I got it.
It's
Yeah.
hard.
Now that's a little bit of a metaphor because it's not in your life, it's like an example.
Yeah, it
Okay.
was said, but we need
So, you see if somebody can get something in your life. As integrity is sacrificed because it's a virtue when it appears that you must do so to succeed. Yeah.
I'm not sure, but thinking to guys, it is our situation where, for example, two students who are, it is not from my personal life, but just like an abstract. Two students, for example, are studying, and they both have opportunity to go, for example, for стажировку, как сказать?
Internship.
Internship, yes. For example, they have an opportunity to study somewhere abroad or work abroad, but there is only one place. And these two guys are, for example, good friends. And maybe if one of them will go in any conditions, he or she will lose his integrity because maybe his feelings will be broken. Just because he succeeded to go on this trip and his friend didn't. Well, for example, I would lose my integrity in such situation.
Because, how does it link up again?
Well,
Your word, your integrity is sacrificed because it seems like a virtue and you have to do it in order to succeed.
well, yes, I understand that in such situation, I did my best and I succeeded to get this work or anything else. But anyway, I would feel not embarrassed, but I would feel empty because of my friend who had the same opportunity, but he didn't succeed.
See, I don't see where your
Is it
integrity
integrity?
is sacrificed. I understand that you feel.
But just we talked that integrity is a feeling of like jealousness. Well, yeah, yes, like feeling of completeness. Well, where our emotions and our beliefs they work for us, they are organized, and we are just like integrity as I understood being this getting integrity is being happy. Maybe it's equal.
Could be. So you and your friend are looking for jobs,
Yes.
and one gets a job
Yeah.
and the other one doesn't.
Maybe just we both of us assigned for one job, but only one of us was.
Okay, you're both interviewing for one job,
Yes.
and one person gets it and the other one does
Yes.
not. Okay. Now, and so you're the person that doesn't.
Oh,
And-
even no. I'm just talking about the person who does.
Okay, so the person who does. Now, did anybody say anything, is there a broken promise or a broken word in there?
No.
No. Okay. And I understand that this person feels bad because they got the job.
Yes.
Yes. That's not a issue of